Well, my friends, we come to the time after the highness, you might call it, of Easter Sunday, of Holy Week and Easter Sunday, approaching what is often thought of as Low Sunday. I don't think that's totally a kind of skeptical phrase account for something that often is the phenomenon, is the reality that you have a buildup of attendance and excitement on Easter Sunday. Somehow seems to be sometimes a lull on the following Sunday uh, in in those categories. Not always. Sometimes it's hard to know. And yet we are still in the season of Easter, and we are still in the season where we are encouraged, invited to strengthen our trust and belief in the risen Lord, and to give thanks and to celebrate this reality, despite the circumstances of our lives, whatever they may be, in this day and this season. This season, which has been pretty crazy, right? In so many ways. And so we look this Sunday, as we often traditionally do, for it's the gospel reading according to most lectionaries, for every second Sunday of Easter, is the appearance on Easter evening of Jesus to the disciples who are hidden away in a room in fear. We hear, and Jesus breaks down the barrier of their isolation and comes to them and breathes on them, saying, "Peace be with you." And it has a few other words that are amazing. And they more or less come to belief. However, as you know the story, Thomas was not there for whatever reason. I wonder where Thomas was. I often do wonder that. He was not there. And so when they tell him about what he's missed, he's saying, I'm sorry. Love you guys. I'm not, I'm not going to buy what you're saying. That Jesus, who died, was back here visiting you and breathing his peace upon you. Not unless I'm able to touch him, touch those scars where they hung him up on that cross, on that tree, am I going to believe. And you know that story. Thomas, who's gotten this bad label as doubting Thomas, which is really not fair, and we're going to talk a little bit about names and labels as well, is there, though, the next week, a week from that Sunday evening, when he's gathered this time along with his comrades, his friends, and Jesus appears again and says, "Peace be with you." And he directly says to Thomas, "Here, you need this? Touch me. Touch my hand. Touch that wound, that scar, and see that it is me." And of course, we know those words. Thomas says, "My Lord and my God," and believes. We have times and seasons where we do have doubt, because I believe in our life of faith that it is true that we go through ups and downs just as we do in life in general, so also with our life of faith, where sometimes we might feel a certain closeness or communion of belovedness in relationship with God, as it seems to be dynamically alive, this presence and relationship with God. When we open the Scripture, when we're able to talk about God with our friends, or when we offer a helping hand to others, we somehow sense, wow, God's present and alive. And then we go through other times and lulls in our lives where we might call them many things, dry, our seasons that seem more barren, where God does not seem so immediately present, and we do not have those same kind of feelings. And it's a great temptation to think, well, God is not here, or not at work, or not paving the way for me as God did before, or even begin to doubt worse things than that. We're going to talk about that today, this Sunday too, how important it is to know what faith and trust really look like, and to expect those times. No less than Mother Teresa herself went through those. Most all the people we know of who we consider the greats, the heavyweights of the faith, went through those times. Those times that we might call doubt, but certainly times where that sense of immediacy was not the same. So it's meant to be a word that is true to our reality, true to our living, but also, as always, a word of hope and grace, being strengthened in the knowledge that we can expect those times to come, but God is yet with us. God is yet saying, "Peace be with you, my child." And know and live in my light, regardless of how you feel at this time. May you be blessed this day. May God sustain you, and I hope and pray you have that sense of God's presence. But in whatever state you find yourself, may we each have the trust in knowing that God is working God's ways in our lives, in our world, and God is our eternal hope, now and always. Go in the grace and peace of God in that knowledge, and built up in that knowledge. We'll see you next week.